Good morning, viewers and listeners. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning with me, your host, Grace Cavey. The third week of September, we celebrated the Heritage Week in Namibia under the theme Torchbearers of Our Heritage, which was translated to Subia. And it says, Vahindi be lambi liechizo chetu. And today we are privileged on our information sharing session to be joined by the Director of the National Heritage Council of Namibia, Mrs. Erica Martha Dalikokule. Mrs. Dalikokule, good morning and welcome to the Government Information Center.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, viewers.
Okay, Ms. Dalikokule is here to shed more light on what is National Heritage Council and what is its importance. Ms. Dalikokule, what is the mandate of National Heritage Council?
The National Heritage Council is a government agency established under the Act of Parliament, the National Heritage Act number 27 of 2004, which provides for the protection and conservation of heritage objects and places of significance that warrants to be included in the National Heritage Register.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are some of the functions carried out by the Council?
The Council has, amongst many responsibilities, firstly to advise the Minister responsible for culture on the state of conservation of heritage resources in the country. The institution has also got a responsibility of advising other government agencies or government ministries that are responsible for the implementation of different legislations. We have a responsibility of managing heritage resources, which are of an immovable nature, immovable heritage sites. And in terms of objects that I have also mentioned, the Council has a responsibility to see to it that they are also taken good care of. At times, we have to ensure that the National Museum, which is a national repository institution for ex situ materials, takes care of archaeological materials, paleontological, anthropological materials, and so on. And the National Earth Science Museum looks after paleontological materials. The National Gallery looks after the artwork that are of significance. The National Library looks after the documentary heritage of our country. And of course, the National Archives, working closely together with the National Library, also takes care of our heritage, the documentary heritage.
All right. Viewers and listeners, please stay tuned in on our social media pages as per norm. Facebook at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, YouTube at MICT Namibia. Ms. Dalikokule, back to you. How many sites and objects are currently registered under the Council?
We currently have 141 sites registered as National Heritage Places. Out of these, one of them is a World Heritage Site, which is Twyfelfontein Tuiqayes. Another World Heritage Site that we have is under the care of the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, and it is protected under the Nature Conservation Ordinance Act of 1975, which is the Namibia Sea. However, it has the status of World Heritage. Yes.
Do we find these sites in all the 14 regions in Namibia, or are they only in specific regions?
Currently, there are 3 regions in which we do not have heritage resources yet, declared yet. Of course, the presence, they are there, but we need to identify them as an institution together with the members of the public. I'm actually pleased to inform that 2 of them are on the verge of getting off that list, which is now the Zambezi region. We have an old building which is found in Luhonono constituency that has now gone through the process, and it's just pending the final recommendation to the minister so that the final decision can be made. Another one is the college hall in Vikepunye Pohamba campus in Oshana region. It was advertised where we called for the public to to make any submission, but there wasn't any submission, so that is also just waiting for the final recommendation to the minister so that a decision can be made by the minister responsible for culture. The one in Kavango West is also nearing, the possibly approval by council, because the secretariat is finalizing the groundwork that we need to do so that we can then present it to council for council to decide on the way forward. Yes, in all other 11 regions, we have a minimum of at least one in each one of those regions.
Okay.
Yes.
Now take us through the nomination process and who may submit such nominations for registering these sites.
Yes, the nomination process is a function of council. However, there is an enabling section in the Act that any individual can nominate any site. It just starts with an initiative for someone to have identified a resource that is significant in terms of maybe it is rare, maybe it has got historical importance, maybe it has got cultural importance of some kind of practices, and so on. And once one has identified that, they can then get in contact with us at the Secretariat. We provide them with a form that has been specifically designed to request for the crucial information that is needed in the process. And that form comes with a guideline as to what type of an answer is expected at each one of the questions that is raised. Once this form is completed, it is then presented to either a local authority, being a town, or a traditional authority, those that are outside proclaimed local authorities. And with their support, we move forward to obtaining the governor, the support of the regional government at the regional councils, where they, at the same time as we are asking for their support, they also enter such information on their own inventories so that they can have a list as to knowing which one of the sites were nominated at some point and what is the process. And once that is done, then the nomination file is complete. We then take it further to conducting a stakeholder consultation, just to make sure that we raise awareness of the public to get to know that a certain place is nominated or a certain object is nominated before we move it further to the next level. After the stakeholder consultation, we move to presenting, the Secretariat moved to presenting this nomination to the internal committee of the Heritage Council, which is responsible for advising Council on nominations and the well-being of heritage resources. Once the committee has gone through it, they at some point may want to send back the nomination if there is information that is found to be missing, or if there's maybe further consultations that needs to be done. And once the committee is happy, they then formulate a recommendation to be tabled at the council meeting. Then once the council has agreed, they approve it. And we inform, the Secretariat informs the nominator and everyone who was informed, was consulted in the process of bringing this to, to this level. They are informed that the next step will then be the publication of this nomination in the local media, so that if there is anyone who has a different view or who has different type of information from what we have, can then come out. Whether they are not in support of the nomination, where they will indicate their support, or if they do not indicate their support, they tell us their reasons. Sometimes they request to be heard in person, that they want to give a presentation to council. All those are organized and arranged or facilitated by the Secretariat. If there is no submission received, we then bring back a report to council, and council resolved to recommend to the minister responsible for culture that a place be declared as a national heritage place. Once we the minister receives the recommendation, the minister can also ask questions. The minister can refer back with specific directives, or the minister accepts the recommendation. And once the minister has accepted the recommendation, then that is, it means a place is declared. However, it needs to be published in the government gazette so that it can become effective. We then facilitate the process, and once we have informed the public also in a government gazette, a place or an object is then regarded as having been declared as a heritage place, and it is entered onto the National Heritage Register. Yes.
Now, is there any protection for heritage resources that are not listed on this register?
Yes. Certain heritage resources are protected wherever they are found, and their ownership is also clearly indicated that it is of the state. This includes the shipwrecks and shipwreck objects that have been in the Namibian territorial waters for a minimum of 35 years. They are protected, and they are a property of the country, irrespective of their origin. We also have meteorites and archaeological heritage resources, as well as other paleontological resources that are found. Wherever they are found, they belong to the state. The rock art sites that you find are actually included as part of archaeology, that their ownership is that of the state. Whether they are found on private land, the owners of the private land are obliged to avail or to enable the Heritage Council staff and anybody who has been given a task and responsibility to look after them. Like, for instance, heritage inspectors, they also have, they can also have the same kind of treatment that the staff of the National Heritage Council have. That if you show up at one of these places and you would like to monitor or you would like to investigate anything to do with those, the owners of the land are obliged to enable you access to their land. Yes.
Okay, now if they are protected, why are they not listed on the register?
There are many. As I indicated, they are recognized as important wherever they are, whether they have been recorded or they have not been recorded, whether they have been documented or not. If you find them as an individual, you are actually required to report them to the National Heritage Council so that the National Heritage Council Secretariat, together with yourself, we can then move to the process of nominating them for them to be declared, and and we add them onto the list that you would like us to add them onto.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at the educational role played by the National Heritage Council, and in what ways is this implemented in the communities?
Yes, the council has also a responsibility to educate the public. Firstly, the places that we have that are entered onto the National Heritage Register, we need to promote deeper understanding of these heritage resources so that it can enable the members of the communities to actually appreciate them.
Yes.
And with appreciation then comes the need to learn more and also to protect. They would want to come out and see physically. When we are talking about, for instance, I talk about Drie-Doornvlakte. It is a site in Hardap region where you find some fossils. When we talk about fossils, what do they signify? We need to let the public know. We need to let the public understand. And if you hear us talking about fossils, you would want to come out and see, how does a fossil look like? So then when you go to that site, you are shown that these are the fossils. You are told the story as to how they came about. That so many years ago, this place was submerged in water, and as time went, when the water was evaporating, these fossils were formed and so on. So it becomes, it creates that interest in you to go and see. In terms of protection, when we have declared these places and we have them protected as heritage resources, we then enable the members of public to make use of them in ways that do not jeopardize their existence, because you need to enjoy them.
Yes.
You need to, when you can only get to a point where you feel obliged to protect them if those resources mean something to you. So when we have got heritage resources protected in different parts of the country, it's not only us as Namibians who would want to go and visit them and appreciate them, but humanity at large. We see a number of international visitors coming to our sites. It creates many different benefits for the communities. Anyone who understands that, who identifies business opportunities, may actually come up with an idea that when people are coming, they have their needs. They want to be accommodated, they want to be fed, maybe they want to see more than just seeing a site. Maybe they want to mingle with the members of the community. So it's an opportunity that entrepreneurs can make use of to also generate a living, an income for themselves. Yeah. So other ways of community education, we are responsible also of educating the owners of land, of the existence of these places, because of the nature of heritage. You find it anywhere and everywhere. Sometimes you are involved in some kind of activities, and only then would you identify that, or as I'm going on with my work, there is something that looks extraordinary which I have not seen before. Then the member of community will then get into contact with us, and we we take the process to investigate and try to find out what that resource is. And if it is of heritage significance, then we protect it. We take it through the process of declaration and we protect it.
Okay. Cabinet has just approved the submission of nominating the Brandberg for World Heritage listing. Please tell us more about that.
Yes, this is quite exciting. I have already mentioned that we have 2 sites that are listed on the World Heritage List. And the World Heritage List is a prestigious list on which one really wish to see the properties within their country added. The process of nomination of this site, I'm finding it exciting because we are trying to do it slightly different from the way we have been doing nominations in the past. We approached it with capacity building in mind. Firstly, we identified training opportunities for our staff members to attend, and as they are attending, they are learning what is required in terms of the process. And it is quite pleasing that our minister has indicated that she would like to know what it is that we need in the process. Is it more staff members, or what is it that we need? So that willingness and the political support that we have is really what we need. Cabinet, having decided that we should go ahead and finalize the nomination dossier, means that we are now going to go out and consult much more vigorously, so that we can ensure that when we come to a point where the nomination dossier is completed, we have meaningfully engaged stakeholders to having formed part of this process, because when the Heritage Council is facilitating this process, we are not doing it for ourselves as an institution. We are doing it for the Namibian nation. Therefore, we need to make sure that we consult at different levels, using different platforms, and I think this having been the first opportunity that we got just after the decision by the cabinet, we appreciate that we have this opportunity to share this information. More will come to the public in making use of different platforms, and I just promise that please stay glued to the media, so that you can learn more in terms of the process, in terms of what the members of the community who are living in the Daures constituency have to say with regard to this nomination that we are working on. Yes.
That is very exciting. Does the heritage contribute to Namibia's economic development, and if so, in what ways?
Yes, definitely. Mostly, our country has been marketed as a wildlife destination. But not so long ago, a decision was made to also include cultural heritage. Therefore, we are now in a process of trying to find ways to ensure that we valorize our heritage resources, and as we do that, we we cooperate with the Namibia Tourism Board and the Ministry of Environment and Tourism in ensuring that cultural heritage tourism is also taken on board, because that is one way that visitors who are coming to our country, they want to visit our heritage resources so that they can also understand deeply and experience them and be able to also spread the word about them. And again, in terms of what I've also mentioned, that when visitors are coming to these different places, they have different needs. They need to be accommodated, they need to be fed, they need some entertainment, they need some something for the hand that they want to take with. The souvenirs to remind them of having been to our heritage resources in our country. So in that way, different businesses are established, and the owners utilize these resources in order to make money for themselves. And again, as an institution, the National Heritage Council, carrying out these different activities out there in the regions, we also provide employment opportunities, because as much as these resources have been there and they've been looked after by the members of the public, we cannot just go ahead and publicize them if there is no management structure, because tourism in itself is a blessing and it can also be a curse. Because if there is uncontrollable visitor arrivals at our heritage resources, they end up carrying out different types of activities, of which some can be detrimental to our heritage resources. So we need to have staff who are actually presenting these sites to the visitors who are coming. Because even visitors themselves are different in their own ways. You have got those who are coming for learning purposes, you have got those who are coming for leisure, you have got those who are coming basically just to explore and try to understand what the site is all about. So we need to have staff on site who are serving as tourist guides. And of course, we also charge entrance fees, which we add to the grant and aid that we receive from government in order to provide for protection of our heritage resources in the country. Because if there is no heritage in our country, how are we going to be able to identify ourselves? Whenever you speak about a certain site and you say this specific site, people who have known about it, they may actually, oh, you are Namibian. So that in itself is really the responsibility that we have in order to,
it's our
for
pride.
conservation. It is our pride. Yes.
Okay. What are some of the successes and challenges that heritage preservation, conservation, and management faces?
Yes. Well, in terms of successes, the National Heritage Council has replaced the National Monument Council. And with that replacement, it was firstly, it came about as the review or the coming in existence of the National Heritage Act. That firstly, the National Monument Act that was there, which was of South African origin, was mostly looking at promoting heritage of Eurocentric origin. However, with the coming in existence of the National Heritage Act, the mandate has been broadened to look after heritage in totality. Although at this point in time we are only talking about heritage places and objects, we are moving closely to ensuring that even our intangible cultural heritage is also included as part of that which is important in terms of our legislation. With this, I would then indicate that with the transition from the National Monuments to the National Heritage Act, the institution has inherited an imbalanced, list of heritage resources that were proclaimed under the National Monument. And we needed to ensure that we also identify other resources within the country that can be also added onto this list. As I indicated, we are very close to to ensuring that we have got a declared heritage site at least in each and every region, and hopefully by mid next year, by winter, we should be able to to achieve that objective. As an institution, we were firstly a small institution which needed to expand because of the extended mandate that is now looking after the the heritage resources in totality. I am actually also convinced that so far where we are also in a position that we are proud to mention. In terms of challenges, yes, everyone will always say that they are challenged by, financial resources. We try our level best to find ways as to how we can complement that which we have from the government and that which we are generating from the different heritage resources that are under our care. We also approach different donors to avail funding to us. And at this point, there are a number of projects that we have, jointly implemented with donor agencies, which is, it's a challenge, but in one way, we also try, it helps us also to identify ways as to how we can diversify and be able to generate more funding. Of course, going forward within the framework of the just launched National Development Plan, we are also looking at developing a funding model that would ensure sustainability of our heritage resources. Another challenge that I would like to mention is on expertise. As time goes, different people move on and they go with their expertise. It also then have to be realized or noted that the subject matter in which we are involved is very specific. The market is not so big to be able to accommodate everyone, but at the same time, we need to ensure that we always have capacity, the critical mass of skills from which the institution can draw from, so that we are able to, to fulfill the mandate of the institution. Another challenge that we are faced with has come as part of the public education, programs that we run. The members of the public, they fear losing control of their heritage resources because they feel that maybe once a site is nominated and it is declared, it is taken over by the Heritage Council. It's not always the case, although it might be, a situation that some resources have to be taken over by the Heritage Council. Some of them remains in the hands of the public and in the hands of the rightful owners. It is a challenge, but we are trying to address it with the education, programs to ensure that if we leave our heritage resources unprotected, undeclared, it does not raise any awareness to anyone. Firstly, in terms of protection against distraction, and also any awareness to anyone in terms of visitorship, which we need to generate the financial incentive that we need to in order to look after these resources. So therefore, as part of the development plan, the national development plan, our game changer strategy is to try and focus into assisting members of the public to establish business enterprises that are anchored around heritage resources, so that these resources can have that special meaning to them, that it feeds me. I must make sure that it exists. I must make sure that when one day I leave it to future generations also to utilize and be able to use, economically and also socially as part of our identity.
Okay. As we are nearing the end of our conversation, I would like to know, what does Namibia Heritage Council aim to achieve in the next 5 years?
Yes, I have mentioned that we are in a process of addressing our legislation. In the next 5 years, we would like to ensure that our heritage legislation is updated, and we also then in the process of ensuring that as we are looking after heritage resources in our country, we are also in close consultation and collaboration with heritage institutions in the region. Firstly, we may look at SADC being at a manageable level, and also then maybe further looking into cooperation with heritage institutions in the region. Because when it comes to conservation, what we are doing in Namibia does not have to be completely different from what they are doing in Zambia or in Zimbabwe or in South Africa, for instance. We are all aiming to look after heritage resources. Therefore, the lessons that we learn here in Namibia, we should be able to share with our counterparts, and the same with them. Because as much as the market, as I mentioned, is small, we cannot confine ourselves to our boundaries. We need to really make sure that we also enter into some form of cooperation with others in the region. Again, we look at ensuring that we increase the number of heritage resources that are protected, because as we go on identifying these resources, we find some that are so unique. And unique and rare, for instance, yes. Not only to have them declared at the national level, but also to move them further onto the national, onto the World Heritage List, so that we increase our presence also on the World Heritage List. Currently we have 2, and hopefully very soon we'll be at 3. And we hope that in the next 5 years, we can double where we are at the moment and be able to at least, if not 4, 5, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, can you mention these 2 heritage sites that you're talking about that are on the world list?
The first one is Twyfelfontein, Ice, the local name, which was Namibia's first site to be inscribed on the World Heritage List in 2007. It is found in Korigas constituency in Kunene region, and it is open to the public to visit. 7 days a week, not 24 hours, of course. It's only best to be visited during the daytime, but every day of the week we are open for the public. The second site is the Namib Sea, the site that encloses the Sossusvlei, which is the popular tourist site in our country. It was the second site to be inscribed on the World Heritage List, which was done in 2013. So we are now hopeful then moving forward with the nomination of the Brandberg, which we should do before the end of the day on the 1st of February 2026, when the committee is going to meet mid-year in 2027. We are really hopeful that we are going to get this on the list as well.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, how can the Namibian nation contribute to preserving our heritage for future generations?
Yes, in our individual capacities, we are obliged to contribute something. The legislation enables individuals also to nominate. Therefore, whatever you know in your surrounding, get in contact with us at the National Heritage Council so that we can take the process further. If you find a resource, you identify a resource somewhere that is under threat of whatever kind, for instance, maybe people trying to remove some objects from a protected place, report that to us. Firstly, report to the police and report to us also, because if people start picking and collecting these resources, what is going to be left in the end? So as an individual, you also have a responsibility to ensure that we look after these resources. And in terms of intangible cultural heritage resources, it's your responsibility as a Namibian to pass on something to future generations. Firstly, starting at home. Language being a vehicle for transmitting our heritage. It's very important, because sometimes when you are talking, like for instance in storytelling or folklore, it's always best when you speak in a local language.
Correct.
But if children do not speak their languages, how are they going to be able to how are you going to be able to pass on this important intangible heritage to them, for them also to pass on to their generations? So every individual has a responsibility, and let us come together and fulfill this mandate.
Ms. Daliko Kule, this was a very informative session, thought-provoking too. I have learned something, and I'm sure the viewers and listeners have taken something out of this conversation. Please give us your final remarks.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Kabe. My final remarks is really to invite the public out there to get involved in the task of identifying heritage resources. Students at universities, please identify a resource that for your projects, you just research and try to bring information about it. Members of the public, identify something that you can nominate. Get in contact with us and we take the process forward. Again, in terms of visitorship to our sites, I would like to invite everyone to visit at least a heritage resource in your surrounding, so that you can learn more about it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Daliko Kule, for your time. Viewers and listeners, without diluting the words of the Director of the National Heritage Council, Ms. Martha Erica Daliko Kule, this is where we end. From us, it's goodbye.